Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. The Champions League is over for the day, which means we have a video reacting to the two matches that happened. All right, we're going to talk about the Barca Dortmund. We're going to talk about the Aston Villa PSG. Bottom line today, PSG advanced to the UCL semifinal. Barcelona advanced to the other UCL semifinal. Was it pretty for both of these teams? Not necessarily. Specifically, Barcelona, it was very ugly for Barcelona today. However, both of these teams do enough to just get by and advance. Thankful for their first leg cushions that they created, because without them, both of these teams would have been in deep, deep trouble today. And maybe we have been overrating both of these teams a little bit. We'll talk about it. We'll break it down. I've got a lot of talking points I want to go through. Before we go anywhere in this video today, I just want to personally say to the Villa and to the Dortmund fans, I'm very proud of your teams. You both played electric matches, and you both, Dortmund, both Villa, pretty much could have said, look, both of these teams were playing, PSG, Barcelona, way ahead of us, way better football style, way better this season, and we're down however many goals. Both of these teams, Dortmund and Villa, faced 4-goal deficits today, and they went out there and they fought, and they both gave us that feeling as a viewer that maybe we were about to watch this happen. Maybe this was going to go to extra time. Maybe the world's best two football playing teams this season were going to choke 4-goal leads in a second leg. So a huge shout out. If you're fans of Dortmund, if you're fans of Villa and you're watching this, I just want to say a huge shout out to your football clubs. You know, I'm very grateful to be able to watch those games today. And you know what? You guys both could have given up, and you had us all on the edge of our seats, specifically in the Villa PSG game. Because I'll be honest, if it was not for Donnarumma, Villa would be we would not even be recording it. We'd be in extra time right now, because Donnarumma saved I want to say 4 chances, and then Pacho saves that shot at the end off Matson's volley. So 5 big chances. It was crazy. I mean, if you want to kind of aggregate it with, I guess Desiree Dewey missed the chance on Emi Martinez. That was one, but dude, what the hell, man? What was Donnarumma cooking today? Rashford top corner shot. Asensio, one of the most clinical finishers, right? Misses that chance. Crazy save. Donnarumma makes this crazy save, freaking up here, top corner header, and then Pacho at the end, bro. I don't know, man. PSG to me today, it's like they were one shot in the gulag. You know, if you play Warzone, I know I'm getting all talking about gaming here, but dude, they were running in circles around the gulag, just trying to stay alive, bro. It was crazy. But look, PSG to me today, this was a big win for them, because they have that choke DNA in the Champions League. And you know what? As much as I was rooting for Villa, on the other side of it, I do still just really want to see a PSG Barcelona final, because both of these teams don't even know how to time waste. You know, both of these teams, literally, PSG didn't even time waste until the 90th minute. Now, they did their own version of time wasting, which was after Villa got all these crazy goals in the 55th minute, right? 57th, and then they missed that big chance. After that, there wasn't much for 30 minutes, and because PSG do what they do best, right? They start keeping the ball in the midfield, and they start moving the ball like that, and you just can't touch the ball. I mean, it was crazy. And obviously, Villa just was giving it everything coming out of that halftime talk, right? They were going crazy. So they got a little tired. And, just as we knew it, as Villa were pushing, the crowd was behind them from, minute 57 to, or minute 58 to, 85. Nothing happened. PSG just kept the ball. But they were still trying to attack. PSG was trying to score more goals. So, respect to them, because they were still going for it. Barcelona was going for it today. Look, let's get organized. Let's talk about one game first. So let's talk about Dortmund versus Barcelona first. Now, this game for me, ultimately, this was a really disappointing game for Barcelona. You guys know on this channel, I've been saying Barcelona, I think, is the best team in the world. I'm not going to put too much importance on this game today, because I'm going to be honest, as the viewer, they just looked exhausted, bro. They look absolutely exhausted. They're missing some key players in this game. You know, not starting Pedri. I'm going to say something right now that might upset some people, and I don't really care anymore, because, look, you guys come to this channel for opinions. He's not going to win the Ballon d'Or, but I think Pedri's probably the best player in the world right now. When this guy comes into the game, and, you know, even Barca's missing Balde, who's going to be a big miss for them, so hopefully they can get him back. I don't know. I think it was maybe season ending. I'll look at it in a second. He's a big deal. But Pedri not starting, the difference when he came in, I was like, dude, what the hell? But Yamal, Rafinha, Lewa couldn't really get involved. Rafinha looked really tired tonight, you know. So I know, but Pedri's not going to win the Ballon d'Or. But bro, this dude is insane. This dude is insane. His control of the match, crazy. Look, Barca fans, thank God for Szczesny. Thank God for Szczesny, because multiple times in this game, Szczesny made a lot of saves. You ready for this, bro? Look at this. Dortmund, who's not even playing well this season, right? And they are a Champions League team. That's why I said don't count them out entirely all the time, because they do well in this competition. They have a good home advantage. They had almost 4 expected goals tonight. You know, on this channel, you watch me in this channel, if you watch my streams, I love Guirassy. Guirassy with a hat trick tonight. He had a very good match. Very good striker. Very good striker. So look, Dortmund fall just short. They actually scored a goal, but then it was offside, right? So that would have been really interesting to watch the final 10 minutes. Thank God, you know, Barca fans, your heart rate when you watch Barcelona, like, because it's the same with PSG. They're just playing their normal ball still. I mean, they're up 4 goals heading into this match. They're still running this offside high line at the 40-yard line. It's just the most prime Hansi Flick. But let me tell you something. Don't get overreactionary about this game. Look, Dortmund went all out for it, and I felt like in the first leg, we reacted to that first leg game, and I said, look, Dortmund had a lot of chances. In the first leg, I know the XG was only 2, and Barca had like around 4 or something. Let me pull up and see exactly what it was. Barca had like 3.7. Dortmund had 1.45. But if you watch the game, like, you were like, dude, Dortmund could have scored a goal easily in that first leg. They were lacking the finishing quality. Tonight, Guirassy was the only one that could put the ball in the back of the net. Adeyemi has some really nice moments, but he just kind of kept getting closed down enough by Koundé that he would get the opportunity because he's so fast, but he'd have to do this like flick shot, so it wasn't really on target. Kind of gave me Dembele vibes with the finishing. Dembele did that like 6 times tonight where he just cooked like crazy, but then it's prime Dembele where he just kicks it right at the keeper or something like that, or skies it wide. So look, Adeyemi, very close a couple times tonight, couldn't get it done. Bayer as well, like moments where he could have had it, and then they scored an offside goal at some point. Dortmund really exceeded everyone's expectations tonight. They gave it their all. For the season that Dortmund has had so far, they should be proud of this result. They had a decent result on the weekend. If you're a Barcelona fan, does this game concern you? The only thing I will really point out, you know, like in terms of just my watching of this game, right? Szczesny damn well saved them tonight many times. He gets a 7.9 match rating. You know, Rafinha, who's a Ballon d'Or favorite right now, did not show up in this game. We need to be critical. He had moments he could have. He didn't show up. Lewandowski could not get involved in this game. And Yamal looks like he's trying to play FIFA spamming Trevellas all game. I mean, I don't want to be too harsh on the kid, but not a good game from him either. And at the end of the day, you know, for me, Fermin as well. You know, Fermin contributes to their goal they scored tonight, but Fermin as well. Fermin must have had like 5 chances where he could have just put it at least on target, and he shanks it. Like, he shanks it so bad it's not even close. So it was just a bad night at the office for Barcelona. It was not a good night. The fact of the matter is they are so good that they put themselves in a position that it was going to be really hard to choke this situation. They did just enough to get by. They really look like overall they need some rest, and you know, not starting Pedri this game, I felt like was really a big deal. I think the first half would have gone a lot differently if they did have Pedri in the game. Watching him come into the match and, you know, I feel like the control they had was a lot better. But just a bad game for them. But look, the bottom line is they are through to the next round. They will face the winner of Bayern or Inter. My reactions before we talk about, you know, Villa PSG. Look, the beauty of this competition is that anything is possible. So as we look to tomorrow, I think both of these games are up in the air. You know, we look at PSG and what they've been doing in this tournament and heading to Villa with a 2-goal lead. Look, PSG almost had a meltdown today. Barcelona, who everyone's been saying is the best team in the world, Dortmund, who's out of the last 8, the weakest team left, gave them a run for their money today. So us as viewers, we're looking at tomorrow and saying, bro, Arsenal, Real Madrid, you better damn well think that game is wide open. All right? If Real Madrid score in the first 20 minutes, just imagine, right? Because Villa was down 4 goals with like 50, 40 minutes left. They almost did it, okay? So it's possible. It's very possible. And look, the other game tomorrow is a 1-goal deficit. 1 goal. So anything is possible in that game. So tomorrow's game's based off today. It's like reignited me. This is why we love this competition. This is why this shit is the best, because anything is possible. So Dortmund is out. Barcelona's winning the semifinal. Villa is out. It was a great effort from Villa today. Let's talk a little bit about this game and some talking points with this game. Obviously, PSG doing what they do best. Look, PSG is going to be such a hard team for anybody to beat because they are so talented. Villa for me, in terms of recent form, is playing better than Liverpool, right? So PSG for me, just went to Villa Park and had almost 70% possession again. I tell you, this team is so hard to beat because they keep the ball so much. They kept the ball for like 30 minutes in the second half when Villa, I thought, was about to do the madness. What are some talking points in this game? Man of the match for me in this game, it'd have to be Donnarumma. Bro, Donnarumma, oh my God, man. Oh my God, the saves he was pulling off. Crazy. Literally kept him in this game. The midfield obviously did what they do best. What else do we even want to talk about in this game? I really was proud and impressed with the passion that Villa showed. Again, like down 4 goals with the time they had left, was just like, 50, 60 minutes left. They were down 4 goals. They could have just thrown the towel in. They did not give up. And they had so many chances, guys. If you're a Villa fan, if you're, a fan of the Premier League, you're just kind of like rooting for the Premier League here. Like, Villa, to me today, really could have done this. That's the crazy storyline. Did it happen? No, PSG are through, but they could have done it. Emery's the GOAT, all right? Emery's so freaking crazy. What he's doing with this team, it's really crazy to watch. And look, like, they exceeded my expectations today. They won the game. They didn't go through. Rashford, to me, I mean, I was a little bit like, I didn't love that. Rashford as well, for all the hate that this guy gets, had an amazing match tonight. He had an amazing match. I mean, he actually had a set piece to Konsa that Konsa 100% should have scored. And I know Konsa scored for them today. He should have had 2 goals. I can't believe he missed the chance. He also had a top corner shot that, like, probably only Donnarumma, Emi Martinez, and Courtois are going to save right now in the world. Like, that's how good the shot was. It was a crazy shot. So Rashford today gets himself an assist as well. He played very well. And again, look, this game at the end, like, just came down to Villa missing chances. They executed this game to perfection. They were always going to concede to PSG. They put up goals. They created goals. And they almost did enough to get through here. At the end of the day, for me, Pacho really did well towards the end of the game to just solidify it. It was not Marquinhos' best game. And, PSG, they are psychotic. They play similar to Barcelona. They don't care the situation. They will just keep attacking. I'm watching the end of the game, and, like, Pacho's pulling up to the box, and Hakimi and Nuno Mendes are the only 2 goal scorers tonight. It shows how talented this team is, because you look at the loaded attack. Kvaratskhelia, a bit of a ghost tonight. Villa just did a really good job of neutralizing the attackers for PSG tonight. But again, PSG, such a talented squad overall, and their fullbacks and their goalkeeper really get them over to the finish line tonight. This was almost another one of those Champions League nights that PSG would want to have back. It really was. PSG, a lot of people are convinced, are cursed in this competition. What I will say is that PSG, for me, in the grand scheme of things, right, in this competition, are probably going forward the most impressive team I have watched. I thought I had Barcelona to me is looking a little tired. I do think Barcelona have a easier route to the final. I still think whoever PSG plays out of Arsenal or Real Madrid is going to be a very tough game for them. And both of those teams will be happy in a similar format to Villa. They will be happy for PSG to have the ball. They don't care. It's not going to be a big deal for either of those teams. So it's one of those matchups that PSG are going to really have to make sure they get those early goals against whoever they face next. And look, hopefully we see this PSG Barcelona final. What I learned from today is that anything is possible, and we may not see that final. Who knows? But again, PSG do just enough to get over the finish line. And I think Villa have a lot to be proud of, guys. I think if you're a Villa fan, you've got a lot to be proud of. You've done very, very well, very impressive tonight. Again, I had a really bad feeling that in the first leg, the last second goal that Nuno Mendes scored was going to be the difference. This was such a different ball game. If they went back only down 1, oh my goodness, that goal is going to haunt them even more than all these saves that Donnarumma pulled off tonight. Ah, my goodness, bro. Desiree Doué as well. Special player. Holy, man, special player. I mean, special player. Wow. Wow. Other things to just talk about. Emi Martinez, for me, so talented. The way he's closing down all the time. Did not love the misses that Dembele had tonight. Again, I just feel like with Dembele, he can put up the stats. He can do whatever. I still don't trust this guy. I still do not trust Dembele's finishing ability in these big matches. I don't know why. So maybe that's just me on my own island. And yeah, I think that's about it, man. It was a crazy day today, guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the games. Tomorrow should be, I think tomorrow we look at it like, okay, The whole time we felt like tomorrow was going to be the day. Maybe today was the day. Let's see what tomorrow brings. But we have our first 2 semifinalists in the Champions League. Let me know your thoughts on the games today, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Crazy day, crazy. I'm still processing everything because I was like so not expecting these outcomes today. And man, I think we're gonna get extra time tomorrow. I think we will get one extra time tomorrow. I don't know what game it's gonna be. I think we will get one. What did we say for predictions today? I think we said PSG 2-2, so we were kind of close there. I think we said Barca 4-1. Guys, Barca, man, they dropped a stinker today. It was just a bad day at the office. I'm not going to put too much emphasis on it. I know some of you guys are going to say I'm two-faced and I just glazed Barca. They just had a shit game. They look really tired. I'm not going to let that game dictate the season. I felt like Dortmund just played nuts today. Let's see. Barca's got to get some rest, man. They got to pick it up. Who do they play on the weekend, though? Celta Vigo on Saturday, Mallorca on Tuesday, then Copa del Rey final next Saturday. After that, April 26th. All right, guys. Have a good one. Thanks for watching. Peace.